we had an exciting weekend in high school basketball. So we recap the District 1 6A first round, look ahead to the PAISAA girls and boys Final Four, plus some in-studio guests next on Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. Catholic League and the team that everybody's talking about. One final thought, let's get a big, bold prediction. Welcome to another edition of Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein, joined as always by my co-host, Mike Samsel. What a great District 1 6A first round over the weekend, and I definitely want to get right into that. And we had a game that we made a pick on. You got it right. Hatboro Horsham over CB West, but 34-32 was the final in double overtime. How about that?
First off, you say I got it right like it's a surprise. Like, of course I got it correct. But this game set offensive basketball back 20 years. Clifton Moore was fantastic, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 9 blocks, and 9 blocks had a lot to do with a low offensive total. Right. But 66 points in a double overtime game. It was a close game. It was an exciting game. Good defense. Yeah. Offensive basketball was not at a premium. And to win deep in these tournaments, you need to score more than 34 points in double overtime. So I think going forward, either of these teams are going to struggle just because of the offensive handicap. But that said, Clifton Moore was just so good in this game.
Yeah, and it's what we talked about when we made our picks, right? You said Clifton Moore is the best player.
Yeah.
You got Hatboro Horsham. I said CB West the better team, but the better player won in this one, and he just was phenomenal, and he scored over half of his team's points. So again, tip your hat to Clifton Moore. Definitely a solid performance for him. Speaking of the one of the other games we picked on, Penwood ends up beating the Chamonix 59-51, but kind of the same point where we talked about it. Chris Archidiakono, the best player on the floor, he did not disappoint even though his team lost.
No, he certainly did not. And the SFBN reporter that covered this game for our website even said Chris Archidiakono was covered the second he came out of the locker room, off the bus even. They double-teamed him everywhere on the floor. And he was still able to get off and have a big game for 25 points. Now that's tough for Neshaminy because, as I had said, they don't really have much behind Chris Archidiakono. For this team to get to the playoffs and to get that playoff experience, awesome, positive year for Neshaminy. They've had a tumultuous program over the last couple of years. The ship steadied a little bit. Chris Archidiakono had a good year. That said, this Penwood team's pretty good, and they had a nice game from Purnell G. Put up 17 points in that game, and he's a pretty darn good player. Small forward. I'm interested to see where he ends up at the next level. This Penwood team is going to challenge and really scare some teams in the state tournament.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are definitely the better team. In this one, the better team won over the better player, and they've been very good all year, which is why I picked Penwood in this game. But you're right, Neshaminy under 500 this year, and Chris Archidiakono only a junior, so I think look out for the Skins next year. They are definitely going to make some noise next year. Another great game covered by SFBN, and you can check out a video on our website, thesfbn.com. Garden Valley beats Methacton 49-45. What a great game, a great atmosphere, and the Jags finally get a playoff win after 20 years of not winning in the playoffs.
20 years of not waiting, and sometimes it's the crazy plays that win games like this in the playoffs. It's a tough spot. You need some players to step up to make plays. One foul goes one way or the other way. One half-court shot goes in or doesn't go in, and that's the difference. Well, a half-court shot went in this game, and it ended up being the difference. Connor O'Brien had a half-court buzzer beater at halftime, and that just kind of sent the Jags flying into the locker room, and they were able to ride it to their first playoff victory.
Yeah, and Methacton really hung around. He looked a couple of times, he thought GV was going to pull away, and Methacton really hung around. But again, that's the matchup. The 16-17 matchup was the best matchup seed-wise, and I think that we got definitely one of the better games. So very exciting District 1 6A first round. It should be a phenomenal tournament throughout. Now let's go to another tournament, PAISAA, the state private school championships. We've got our Final Four. That's Friday night at Malvern Prep, with the championship games being on Saturday. And man, we have 4 really good matchups. Let's start with the boys, and you got to start with Westtown and Germantown Academy. a rematch of last year's PAISAA championship game.
Now there's one important player missing from that rematch, and that's Devin Goodman for GA. He really kept GA around in that game last year. But what you do have, Kyle McCluskey, you do have Evan-Eric Longino. This GA team is still pretty solid. Pretty solid's not good enough against West Town. West Town is just a monstrous team right now. You know, we talked about all the players, Brendan Randolph, Mo Bamba, you know, on and on. GA's got a really good coach in Jim Fennerty. They have some athletes. They might be able to keep this game close. But I think West Town is another easy win for them.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Devin Goodman. I think if GA has Devin Goodman, I give them more of a chance in this game. I think they will keep it close. Jim Fennerty, like you said, a phenomenal coach, but he's got his work cut out for him, that's for sure.
They're going to want to drag this game into the mud, no doubt about
Yes.
it. If this is a 70, 80-point game, it's West Town. GA can't keep up. GA has to keep this game in the 40s or 50s to have a realistic shot.
Yeah, and the other matchup, the Hill School against Episcopal Academy. I love Nick Alakakos in that game. But again, that's Friday night at Malvern Prep. Now, on the girls' side, I love the way this bracket played out. You've got essentially the Friends League championship, a rematch of it, in fact, and then an Interac championship. You've got AFS, Abington Friends against Shipley, and then EA versus GA. Let's start with EA versus GA because this is a great girls basketball matchup here between two very good Interac schools.
And these two teams split the season series when they played as well. Episcopal is a really strong team. I think both Interac teams may struggle a little bit against whoever comes out of that Abington Friends and Shipley matchup, but I'm really interested to see who gets the bragging rights in the Interac championship, the de facto Interac championship, the second one.
Yeah, essentially. And then, you know, the Friends League side, you talked about that, AFS against Shipley, rematch of the Friends League championship. AFS won that one. They also won the regular season matchup. But can you beat a Shipley team 3 times in the same season? I'm not sure if Abington Friends can do that.
No, I'm not sure they can either because these games have been close. And again, we've talked about the incredible PAISAA run that the Shipley girls have had, 4 PAISAA championship games in 5 years. I just don't see that streak ending. A player like Yndiah Bobo doesn't know what it means to not make the PAISAA State Championship game. She's in her senior season. Anna Camden is progressing along really nicely. I know I picked against Abington Friends and was wrong the last time, but I do favor Shipley because of the experience that they have in state playoffs.
Well, it's another neutral court game, just like that Friends League championship, so we shall see what happens on Friday night at Malvern. And when we return, we're going to talk to some of those Shipley girls basketball players in studio. Next on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Flippin' Shakes has everything from burgers to sandwiches to delicious milkshakes. The Sports Fan Base Network crew chows down on a variety of favorites, from classic egg creams to the trending mac and cheese burger. Located at 233 2nd Street Pike in Southampton, you can dine in or take out. Flippin' Shakes, great food, great service, a flippin' good time.
Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Do you like pro sports?
Yeah,
Do you like college sports?
of course.
Do you like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN.
This segment is brought to you by Valley Financial Group, certified financial planners that organize your financial life and design plans for leaving your legacy. Valley Financial Group, helping you live the life you earned.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. I'm Charlotte Reese, and I'm joined now by 3 Shipley Gators, Anna, Yndiah, and Lauren. Welcome, girls. And I think first thing is first, your last 2-point win against Penn Charter last Friday. Tell me about that game.
Well, it was a tough game from start to finish, so I think they were really competitive with us, even though they were a lower seed. They tried to bring their best, and so we took it into overtime and tried to draw up a play, but Anna was wide open, so we were just able to hit her, and she was able to convert and get us the W.
And throughout the season, we've had a lot of close games, so I think it was definitely in our benefit that we went into overtime and we were able to pull through and get the win.
Very nice, last second.
And we knew since it was a state game, it was going to be tough no matter who we played.
Yeah.
So.
And your next matchup is also a big game, Abington Friends. I know last time you guys met was kind of a defeat in the Friends League Championship. So what does this next game mean?
They're definitely a tough team, but we're looking for revenge. We are. And I know if we give 110%, then we have this game, and I believe in this team. We can go far.
And since that Friday night when we lost in the Friends League Championship, we've been waiting to get another chance at them. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
And a lot of people say it's hard to be a bad team 3 times in a row, and we're a good team, so it's always been close games. So we're looking forward to just getting the chance to convert finally.
Definitely a solid team. And Yndiah, you've kind of seen that over the last 4 years. So how does this 2017 team compare to past years?
Throughout my 4 years at Shipley, we've always had great leaders, such as Nia, Holland, Sox, Alexander, Courtney Redcross. And this year, I kind of take on that role as leader, being the only upperclassman. I just want to be here for them like others were there for me. And I know this team will go far. I think we can win this whole thing.
And Lauren, Anna, you guys as underclassmen, what has been your favorite part of this season?
My favorite part would probably have been the Friends Central game. It was a doubleheader with the boys team, so the atmosphere was great. And we lost them last year in the semifinals of the Friends League tournament, so getting revenge and winning this year was awesome.
I think my favorite part was probably our West Catholic game. Just because Bo was out that game, and she kind of told us to just make sure we go get the W, and that's what we ended up doing. Even though it was a tough game and it came down to the last few minutes, we went and we got it for her. So it was just great to be able to do that for her.
That's good. Does that make you feel comfortable having your underclassmen step up, even though you were hurt, and just the future of Shipley?
Yeah, I know that they're going to do big things when I leave. I have great confidence and faith in them and their abilities as leaders, as people, and I know they will do well.
That's great. And I know another big night of this season was Swamp Night. SFBN was out at that game. So tell the listeners, the people, a little bit about what Swamp Night is and about that amazing game you guys won.
So Swamp Night we've been having for as long as I've been at Shipley. It used to be called Community Supper, where everyone used to eat a meal together. They wanted to as a community and then go out and play the games. And so it's just that year was our biggest year, and we had our biggest attendance, and everyone was just there to support Bo and just support all of our teams to get the W. And it was also senior night, so that was good.
It was awesome. Like she said, the atmosphere was great, lots of people there, and it was awesome getting to honor our senior Bo because she does a lot for the team.
Yeah, for me, Swamp Night / senior night would be my highlight of the season. It feels good to have everybody support me, teachers, coaches, my family, the Swamp. So yeah.
I definitely think Swamp Night is a better name than Community Supper too. But Yndiah, this is your last season with Shipley, so tell me a little bit about your future moving on, college, basketball.
Well, I've recently committed to Clarion University. I had a great connection with the coaches through the whole recruiting process, and I wanted to go somewhere where I know I would have an immediate impact on the program. And when I went to visit, the rest was history. I fell in love with it.
And I know, Anna, Lauren, you guys still have a couple more years, but tell me how the college process is going so far.
I think it's been vigorous for both of us just because we both play on a top AAU team together with the Philadelphia Bells. So we both have gotten the experience to have all different types of colleges come and watch us as we play across the country. And then we get to go visit those colleges after that and just see what these different colleges have to offer. And the big campuses, the small campuses, it's just really fun for us right now.
I think the biggest part of the process is figuring out individually what you want in a school. So like she said, getting to see all these different colleges is really cool.
That's great. Well, I wish you guys luck with your season and individually.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back here on Varsity Voice right after this.
Serving the community since 1974, Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center is perfect for the whole family. We provide a complete schedule of children's activities for ages 2.5 through 12 and a full-service fitness center for teens, adults, and seniors. Our sports arena features year-round roller hockey and seasonal indoor soccer leagues. Tennis, racquetball, aquatics, basketball, dance, karate, group exercise classes are all available to groups of all ages. Stop by and bring the whole family to the Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center at the corner of Cruisetown Road and Grand Avenue.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Get pain-free physical therapy. At PTW, we know that sometimes physical therapy can be tough and painful, so we do whatever we can to get you feeling pain-free again. Each one of our centers is equipped with an Alter-G anti-gravity treadmill or warm water therapy pool to unload your aching joints. From pre- and post-surgery rehab, fitness programs, and work injury rehab, PTW is your go-to therapy provider. Call or visit us online to schedule your PTW visit today.
This segment is brought to you by Sluggersville, Philadelphia's first premier year-round indoor baseball and softball training facility. With over 40,000 square feet of turf and 22 cages, Sluggersville is the largest of its kind in the area. Call 215-673-1258 to schedule your rental or training session.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. It's time to break down our SFBN Game of the Week, the Philadelphia Public League Boys Basketball Championship between Imhotep and King, and Ace Carter joins us to break it all down. We expected Imhotep to be here. King, a little bit of a surprise, not too much though, but Imhotep just crushed MCS over the weekend to get to this point.
All right, just like we talked about all season long, Imhotep's been the front runner. The question that we posed to each other early in the season was, can anyone compete with Imhotep in the public league? And the answer was no, because at the time, you know, that the front court that they have, you have Donta Scott's a sophomore forward, Reef Knox, and you bring in Kobe Thomas off the bench, a guy who's so athletic, he'll dunk on you just as soon as look at you. And then you have the talented perimeter players, Deron Russell, Dave Beatty, of course. And so with that offensive firepower that they have combined with the big guys down low, that's why we all thought that Imhotep would just roll through the public league. But when you look at where this King team is, brought in a lot of new faces, some transfers, lost some seniors to graduation, but this team, they're starting to gel and coalesce at the right time. I talked to Sean Colson early in the season. They got off to a slow start. They struggled trying to put the team together. But what he said to me then in January was, I'm not worried about where we are in December and January. I'm more worried about where we are at the end of February and March. And here we are. They're in a good position.
As Ari said, a bit of a mini upset, MLK able to knock off Del Val, but a lot of it had to do with their big man, Will McNair, who could provide a really big matchup problem for Imhotep.
Yeah, you look at Will McNair, 6'9". I don't know how much he weighs, but it's a lot. And he's a big, physical, strong player. Sean Colson has been after him to finish more aggressively at the rim, and he did that a few times against Del Val. He even had a dunk that he missed, but he tried it. And Colson likes the fact that he's being aggressive at the rim. When you add Elijah Kia-El, a senior, 6'7", and athletic, can actually take it off the dribble, had a fantastic dunk in that game against Del Val where I think he cupped it with one arm and threw down a one-handed dunk. It was sort of like a turning point, a momentum builder in that game. But when you add those big guys to what they have on the perimeter with Donnell Holly, senior point guard, lefty, can score in the mid-range. And then off the bench, they bring in Jihad Watson, sophomores, about 6'2", lefty, silky smooth with the ball, can get into the paint and finish, can distribute to teammates. This is a complete King team, and I think they're going to give Imhotep a lot of problems.
Well, Imhotep just dominated MCS in that semifinal, 89-57, and I mean, you think about that, MCS, we've talked about them, they're a good team too, and Imhotep just crushed them. Does King really have a chance in this game?
I think they do. That Imhotep matchup, the most telling thing for me was that Dave Beatty, who's going to South Carolina, scored 2 points in that game. He made some defensive plays, but he had two points offensively, and they still blew the doors off of MCNS. Deron Russell had 21 points at halftime. MCNS had 21 points at halftime.
Wow.
So that kind of tells you the offensive firepower that Imhotep has. But what I'll say is that Imhotep, I've seen them struggle from the perimeter at times earlier this season. And then when they do that, they can force shots from the outside and rely on those big guys inside to offensive rebound and get putbacks. If they struggle against King in that regard, I think King can hang around because they have the front court players to be able to defensive rebound.
And King has been able to hang around with them in their 2 matchups. 13 points they lost by in the first matchup, 8 points in the second matchup. So it seems like King is really the team that can go into a matchup with an Imhotep and say, hey, we've kept it close. We can do this.
Absolutely, and I think that's what Sean Colson is going to sell to his team. I talked to him after that win against Del Val, and what he said was that earlier in the season they had lost 5 games where they led going into the fourth quarter, and because of the new faces on the team, the lack of cohesion, they turned the ball over at critical times, they took bad shots at critical times. That seems to have been cleaned up a little bit, enough that I think that this is going to be a tough game. People out there, don't expect Imhotep to just go in there and walk through. King is a formidable opponent.
Well, we know what Imhotep has. You just talked about it. Russell, Beatty, Kobe Thomas. I mean, they have a lot of depth up front as well. But Martin Luther King wins the Public League championship because?
If they dominate down low. If Will McNair, Elijah Kia L, if they dominate down low, block shots without fouling, that's going to be huge for them. King has an excellent shot at winning this game, and if Imhotep struggles from the perimeter like we talked about earlier, I think that King definitely has a shot.
Well, it should be a lot of fun, and again, we'll have that for you, our Game of the Week on SFBN tonight at about 7 p.m. Ace, thanks so much for coming on the show and breaking it all down.
Thanks for having me.
Check out what else is coming up on the Sports Fan Base Network. Well, it's time to make our picks. And Mike, 4 games at Malvern Prep on Friday night for the PAISAA Final Four. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, so let's start with the boys. We're going to start with the number 1 seeded Westtown against number 4 Germantown Academy. Who do you have?
Westtown.
I mean, I have to agree. I have to go Westtown here. GA maybe gives them a fight, but again, it's for everything that we've talked about. Westtown, I think, will move on and potentially win the PAISAA on Saturday. Okay, in the other semifinal, Hill School against Episcopal Academy. Who do you have in that one?
Now, this is a fun matchup.
Yes.
I'm really excited about this game. Nick Alikakos is the best player on the floor. Usually when you get into games like this, my theory is the best player on the floor can win you a game. And I think that happens for Episcopal on the shoulders of Ali Kakos.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think EA wins this game. The Hill School having a strong year, but EA played a really tough schedule in the Interac. I mean, everybody just beat up on each other in this one. And EA came out on top, and I think the Churchmen will win this game. All right, on the girls' side, we've got another Interac matchup here, EA and GA. They split the season series. Where does the rubber match go?
And they did, and you look at the scores when they split the season series, and they don't even really tell you anything. 56-49, EA won on their home court, and on GA's home court, it was 52-42. This is a literal coin flip, but I'm going to go with Episcopal.
I'm going to go with GA for this reason. Head coach Sherry Reddiff, she's been around for a long time. She knows how to win these close games. They have a lot of talent for the Patriots. I think GA will win the rubber match simply because of Coach Reddiff. And finally, a rematch of the Friends League Championship. The number 1 seeded Abington Friends against the number 4 seeded Shipley Gators. Who you got?
I got pulled into this before. I was wrong, and I'm doing it again. I'm betting on the experience of Shipley in this game. Love the senior point guard, Yndiah Bobo. She'll be heading to play out in the PAISAA West next season, but she's got to pace the state championship to get first.
Well, I went with AFS, and I was right in that Friends League Championship. But you know what? I don't think AFS is winning for a third time. I think Shipley is too good. They've got a great coach in Sean Costello. Like you said, Mike, they've been there before. I think Shipley will win the third and final matchup between these two teams. But it should be an exciting night at Malvern Prep and an exciting night on Saturday as well for the championships. I'm looking forward to it.
Come on, Episcopal. I need to hold on to that 1-game lead. I believe in you.
Yeah, Mike with the 1-game lead now. I love it. Mike, thanks so much for joining me as always.
Always a pleasure.
Check out our highlight of the week.
The highlight of the week is brought to you by the Physical Therapy and Wellness Institute. Go to www.ptwinstitute.com to find a location near you.
4 minutes to play. Rodriguez to the lane. What a lefty finish by Rodriguez. Bryant with 10 to play here in the quarter. Drives in, floater, no good, but what a putback jam by Taylor.
Select video equipment for Varsity Voice has been provided by DMP Video. DMP Video. You provide the moment, we'll capture the memories. For more information about our videography services, please go to our website at www.dmpvid.com. The Sports Fanbase Network, this area's leader in high school sports broadcasting, is continually bringing you the most in-depth coverage. Join us for Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN, where we'll have interviews with players, coaches, writers, and more, plus analysis, highlights, and a variety of features on major topics in the Delaware Valley high school sports community. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on TCN and 11:30 on CSN for the best and only high school sports show around, Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.